while staring at a newsstand today, inside of a bookstore, in the business section to see what magazines there were there. The first magazine that caught my attention was Inc. magazine, and it is the October edition of Inc. So it's been out there for a while, and I guess I haven't been to my store. Uh, Obviously, the American flag caught my attention, and the agenda: how Washington can help entrepreneurs restore the American dream. And as I opened it up and started to read some of the information, I really started to enjoy it because they take a very non-political stand on what Washington can do. Essentially, they operate from the premise that um, where both candidates have offered an agenda for business, they don't really believe that each of the candidates has adequately addressed the agenda and shown conclusively that this is what I'm going to do if elected president. And they've taken the approach of what Washington needs to do so that entrepreneurship and starting new businesses and growing existing businesses can truly happen, and it's not just lip service. So they've got the special report, and I'm reading now on page 51 from Inc. magazine, October edition, the agenda: how Washington can help entrepreneurs restore the American dream. And the stories that they have, the four areas that they've focused on: a special report, who really creates jobs, and they take an approach, and I quickly skimmed that article. It's not who you think, and I'm going to read it more in depth than I did because I'm not agreeing. They haven't convinced me that the position that they're taking is the correct one. The coming revolution in healthcare. I will take a little bit of issue with the title of that story. It's not the coming revolution. The revolution is here. The outcome of the revolution is going to happen on January 1st, 2014, a little over a year away, when, as it stands, if your business, your small business, has 50 employees or more, you are mandated to provide health care for those individuals. Mandated means that somebody is telling you not only do you have to provide it, here is what you have to provide. Mandates in the healthcare industry are guaranteed to increase the cost of medical care. The cost to a small employer providing medical care for their employees. It's not that small business owners don't want to provide medical care. That is not the issue at all. The issue is the cost of providing medical care. And when you mandate those decisions, you are guaranteed increased costs from where you are today. I've never read anybody who has decreased the cost of decreased their costs of healthcare when mandates are put in place. So if anybody is out there who has, please share that information with me, and I would like to share it with our audience. And then a fourth story is what has to happen in November and beyond. Let's talk about that one first, and we could spend hours on each one of these, but let's talk about what has to happen in November and beyond, and we find that on page 66. Let me read the opening statement. It kind of sets the tone for all of these articles. Maybe this election campaign has filled you with faith in Washington's ability to ignite growth, create jobs, and rescue the healthcare system. Or maybe you think entrepreneurs are more likely to lead the way. You can probably guess which way we're leaning. I'm thinking probably entrepreneurs are more likely to lead the way. Okay, page 66. What has to happen in November and beyond the 2012 election? You have told us, and they're talking to Washington. This is an article by Dan Ferrara, Ferrara. You have told us that the three problems you most want politicians to solve once they are elected or reelected. Unfortunately, neither party has a credible plan. Here is what has to happen instead. And last summer, Inc. magazine polled the CEOs of the Inc. 500, the largest 500 corporations in the country. Actually, no, I take that back. The Inc. 500 is the fastest growing privately held companies in America, about what they hope to see from the winner of next month's election. They told us that they wanted a re-elected Barack Obama or a newly elected Mitt Romney to do three things: balance the budget, stimulate the economy, and cut taxes. That's pretty simple. Balance the budget, stimulate the economy, cut taxes. As political to-do lists go, these goals made perfect sense. You were talking to CEOs of the 500 largest privately held companies. If they're going to make their companies grow and continue to grow, those are the three things that they need to do: stimulate the economy, cut taxes, and balance the budget. The desire for a healthy economy and reasonable taxes is self-explanatory for any entrepreneur. As for the budget, and this is where the entrepreneur doesn't really have any control other than to say, here's how we think government ought to be spending their money. Paralysis on the issue adds to the pall of uncertainty hanging over the economy, and it gets worse the longer it lasts. Sooner or later, we risk triggering a meltdown in the U.S. Treasury market, and we see how crazy things are. We are waiting today or tomorrow. We're going to hear if the Federal Reserve Board is going to keep the interest rate below 1%, as it is anticipated they're going to do. But is that necessarily the best answer for growth in this country? Well, we don't want to pay more than we have to for the money that we need to grow, to start a business or to grow and expand our business. But it doesn't appear that keeping the interest rates as low as they have been has any real substantial teeth. That it's what we need to do now, but is it the best answer for the future? And here's where you know what? I'm sorry. I was actually reading a quote and did not give credit to the individual whom I was quoting. Dane Stangler, research director of the Ewing Marion Kauffman Foundation, I reference that foundation all the time. I'm a distinguished partner in their Global Entrepreneurship Week program. The research that they do is absolutely the very best research that is done in terms of the economy of this country and what needs to be done for growth, what an entrepreneur, the tools, the resources that an entrepreneur needs for growth and development of business. And nobody does it better in terms of research and resources expended and commitment than the Kauffman Foundation. So Dane actually said, sooner or later we risk triggering a meltdown in the U.S. Treasury market. Moreover, Congress's refusal to compromise on the deficit condemns us to repeated self-inflicted crises, like the so-called fiscal cliff looming in January. Frankly, it makes us look ridiculous. That fiscal cliff, I've been reading that in the headlines, and there is a fiscal cliff looming if Congress does not react by the end of the year. This fiscal cliff, where, I don't know, we're going to be pushed off the cliff and terrible things are going to happen. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, what are the priorities? Number one, create a sustainable fiscal plan. We're reading on page 67. Reform the tax code. We're growing, and we're at the stage in our trajectory where any extra working capital we have, we can pump back into our businesses to hire more employees or reinvest in the business. Making the tax code simpler would help us. We pay quarterly, and we have to hire an accounting firm to help us figure it all out. I don't think tax cuts alone are the answer. Washington needs to look at what we've got and figure out it can be simplified and made more efficient. And how many times do you hear me use the words simplify and efficiency? Perhaps the two most important words conceptual in business. Business has to be simple. Business has to be efficient. Lacking one or both of those will make the challenges of growing your business or starting a business very, very cumbersome. Then maybe the tax rates can come down for everyone. Priority number two, stimulate the economy. Priority number three, cut taxes. A change to get it right is a sidebar story. Very, very good one. I haven't had enough time to read it and evaluate it, but I will. Could it be, yes, a sign that the two parties retain a memory of how to work together? Now, Congress, pass Startup Act 2.0. Can the two parties work together? And this is what I've been saying all along. In a sense, it doesn't matter who we elect as president. They are our leader. They are our spokesperson. So, yes, that part of it is important. But they can't get their objectives achieved unless they have the support of Congress. And Congress, the Senate of the United States, the 100 senators, the 400-plus representatives in the House of Representatives, they need to work together better, but everybody wants to make a political issue out of it. And as soon as you make a political issue, the best interests of you and I are not necessarily taken into consideration. It's not about politics. It's what is best for small business, the growth of existing small businesses, and the ability to establish new businesses. Because we need, existing businesses are not creating enough new jobs. We need to start new businesses that create job number one, the job of the entrepreneur creating that business. And if that business grows, more and more jobs are created. Or sometimes right out of the box, you need 10 people or 25 people or 50 people to accomplish what it is that you need to get accomplished in your business. But if you need 50 people, the way things stand right now, your costs of health care are going to skyrocket on January 1st, 2014. And we don't even know what that number is to prepare for it. So what does that say right out of the box? If you don't want to deal with mandated health care, you're not going to grow a company or build a company that needs 50 employees or more. That's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just a fact of life. Yes, my friends, we need a more precise agenda, and we need the two candidates sitting down and working together and say, this is what we can make happen in our parties. Maybe that's what really needs to be done. Instead of the candidates taking adversarial positions right now and fighting, and who can scream the loudest and push the hardest, is that the winner of the debate. And by the way, the final debate is tonight. They're not debating. They're not debating. It's who can scream the loudest and who can be most forceful. I really wish that they would apply very basic rules of debate and take one issue at a time and debate that one issue, and debate with the formal rules of debate, so that truly, you and I can not only get more and better information, we also will make more intelligent choices as to what will happen in the economy, and we can make hold the candidates more accountable. Maybe the presidential election ought to, if it's a two-party thing, and I don't know, the third, we haven't heard as much from third parties this year as we have in the past. I don't know what that means. I've been hearing some things. I'm not quite sure what that means, but maybe the two candidates should run, and the one that gets the most votes is number one, and the one who gets the second most votes is the vice president of the country. I don't know. It's radical. Probably makes some sense. Will it ever happen? No. No. It won't happen because it probably makes too much sense. We need to make some changes if our lives are going to get better. And I am pretty much, right now, here we are a couple weeks before casting our ballots, I am not convinced that either one of the candidates elected really have the true plan and the abilities to make that plan work. I mean, you and I create business plans for our businesses, but our businesses are not going to be successful unless we can make those plans work, unless we can execute the plans. I don't have that feeling in my gut, and that's one reason why. So I'm going to get some more information and share it with you. Pick up a copy or visit the Inc.com website and see what information they're presenting on their website. They might even have all these stories published someplace on their website. This particular edition is old already. The new one's going to come out soon. So maybe they have some better information for you. Our next segment will be about Africa and what is going to happen, or what is happening in Nigeria, big picture, and what Humphrey and I plan to work together to promote, to market, to make good entrepreneurship happen in Nigeria, which is in West Africa.